Hi all, Les from FutureFX here. I wanted to take you through this new product. It's a trade manager. I've had a basic version of it that's been free for our paid community, and now I'm just going to take you through the more advanced version. It's got a lot more features and more advanced, obviously. And so it'll be a product that I have for sale. But like any of the other products, it will be half price for any of the paid community members. And a trade manager, for those who don't know, it is technically an expert advisor, but it won't place trades for you. It'll do everything after the fact. So you personally need to know how to do your TA and decide where to place a trade. Once you've placed a trade, the trade manager will take over. This particular one has quite a lot of features. It will automatically, as soon as you place the trade, it will automatically place a take profit and a stop loss. It will also, it also has a trailing stop loss feature, 2 partial close features, and 2 profit lock features. So I'm going to go through, I'll put it on this chart here and I'll go through all the settings in more detail. So this is it here. It is, as I said, technically an expert advisor. So once installed on the MT4, it will be in the expert advisors folder. And I'll just drag it onto the chart. Then we can have a look at all the settings. Now, order size. For the partial close features to work in the manner that I want them to, you will have to enter the size of the trade that you intend on using, just so that the software knows ahead of time exactly what you're going to be doing. If for some reason you set it at 0.03 and you actually end up putting on a 0.05 size trade, that's fine. But once you've done that, click on the smiley face, bring up the settings and change the order size to 0.05 so that it matches. Other than that, you need to enter where you want the stop loss, where you want to take profit. Now, at the moment, the default settings are all over the place. I'll make them something more realistic before I sell any of these. And we have a trailing stop loss. And the profit lock features, just trying to think the best ways of showing this working for you. So let's say I'm going to just do some tiny little trades here. Let's say at 10 points of profit, it's going to lock in 1 point of profit. So once the trade gets into 10 points of profit, which is only 1 pip, it's going to lock in 1 point of profit. Then when the market gets into 20 points of profit, it's going to lock in 5 points of profit. Okay, obviously those figures are way, way too small. You would not ever trade like that, but I don't want it to take all day to play out while I'm recording it to show you. That's the only reason I've made those figures so small. Okay, partial close. I'm going to make it, you can set this to activate anywhere you like and to close any amount you like out. I'm just going to make it exactly the same as my profit locks. So at 10 points of profit, I'm going to get it to close out 0.01. And then at 20 points of profit, I'm going to get it to close out another 0.01. Like any expert advisor, you will need to have allow live trading box checked there, and you will need to have it turned on up here. So the other feature of this software is it tells you the current 15-minute trend, 1 hour trend, and 4 hour trend. So no matter what chart time frame you're on, at the moment I'm on the 1 minute time frame, you can just quickly at a glance see what the overall trends are doing. So, on the 1 minute time frame here, I would normally have to change time frames, maybe zoom in a bit and see what the overall trend is doing. I think everybody likes to know what the trend's doing and work out where support and resistance, supply and demand are before they place a trade. This can make that job a little bit simpler because you can already see what the trends are doing. Other than that, we need to place a trade. I'm using 0.03 because that was the setting that I put in here as the lot size I'm going to use. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a sell and a buy order. Not because that's how I would normally trade, but simply because I want, no matter which way the market goes now, I want to be able to show you how these features work. So from where those trades are, when the market gets down to where that cursor is, it should move the stop loss into position to make it no risk, and it should also close out 0.01 of the trade. So we can see the 0.03s. It should close that out. What I haven't shown you is, of course, that the trade manager did already place take profits and stop losses. So we can see that first profit lock activated. So it moves that stop loss down below the entry point. And it also closed out 0.01 of that trade. So this trade now, the sell, is only 0.02 now. And hopefully the market keeps going down, and at about here, at 20 points of profit, it'll do the same again. Move the stop loss down further and close out another 0.01. While I'm waiting for that to do its thing, I'll just bring up the settings again. We can still see it playing out here. And this is the way that I would generally use this software, is I would, depending on, what time frames I'm trading, what instruments I'm trading, my personal preferences and all that, I would set the order size and the stop loss and take profit, based off that and how I feel like trading. I know most people that are manually trading, they would not just set a static take profit and stop loss. Where that goes would depend on your TA of the chart. So, your take profit's going to be in a sell order, your take profit is going to be down on support somewhere, just before support. And your stop loss is going to be, up above, or, up just above resistance, something like that. But it can be very handy, especially when you're trading the small time frames, like the 1 minute, to have a stop loss and take profit instantly in place, especially that stop loss, so that instantly you do have that stop loss in place to protect you in case the market goes against you quickly. So even though manually trading, I wouldn't just use a static stop loss and take profit. I do still enjoy having that automatically put in place. And then after that, after I place the trade and the software's put the stop loss and take profit in, I can then come back and I can just fine tune by dragging that take profit and stop loss into the more precise position that I'd prefer it. And then, and this is the order that you want it to work in. You want the profit lock. So we've got the profit lock activate and profit lock. They work together. So it activates at this figure and it moves the stop loss to this figure. Okay, so you want the first profit lock, these ones, to activate first. And then you've got profit lock 2, which work exactly the same, but you want that one to activate later. So that's why this one's activating at 10, this one's activating at 20. And then you want your trailing stop loss to kick in somewhere higher than that. You can do whatever you like, but that would be the obvious way that it should be used. And then you can set the partial close amounts to activate pretty much anywhere you like. With most trades, of course, though, you don't want to be closing out your trade too early. Otherwise, it's not open to make big profit if it goes right through to your take profit areas. So this is the partial close amounts are a good way. If you've got, I'm not really into using trading signals, but a lot of trading signals, they'll have, take profit 1, take profit 2, and take profit 3. So you can set your partial close at take profit 1, your partial close 2 at take profit 2, and your actual take profit could be at take profit 3. And if you're doing all that trading yourself, you can identify the different zones. You might have a small amount of support. So you put your partial close just before that, and you put your take profit at where there's more solid support, and then you could have your partial close 2 somewhere between those two. It's just, between the profit locks and the partial closes, they're just two different ways to lock in profit as that trade goes into more and more profit. So just a lot of features. If you didn't want to use the profit lock, you can just set it to 0. But I'm trying to show you that one working, so I'll put it back on. If you don't want to use the profit locks, you can, just set that at a figure equal to or higher than your take profit, and that way they won't activate until the trades are even closed. So in other words, not working. But that's pretty much it, guys. We can, if I zoom in a little, we can see I took out the trade here, and this little red dotted line down to this arrow here, that happens when a partial trade occurs, when a partial close happens. So when the market got to here, it moves a stop loss from up here down to here to make it no risk. And it also closed out a third of that trade. And now, if it gets right down into 20 pips of profit, we'll get another dotted line connecting those 2 points up. And this trade size here will drop back down to 0.01. Okay, so 20 points of profits just here where the cursor is. So we'll need to see the market get down there to see the second profit lock and the second partial close kick in. Hopefully it can be good for us and do it nice and quick as soon as we're recording it. Not that the market ever does what I tell it to, but you never know your luck. I like to trade late at night, not because it's late at night, but because that's when London and New York is open, particularly the crossover between the two, just because there's generally more movement in the market. Everything plays out quicker. But sometimes I'm actually trading late at night while I'm in bed, and sometimes I fall asleep, which can be a dangerous thing to do partway through a trade. So with the trade manager involved, at least you've got the stop loss in place, and you've got all these other features, the profit locks and the trailing stop losses and the partial closes that can manage your trade. Possibly not as good as you can manage it yourself if you're really watching it, but it's better than trying to do it while you're asleep. But it's just very, very handy to click one button, and by one button I mean this button here that places a trade, and then have everything just automatically fall into place for you. You've got the profit locks there in case the market retraces, turns around and retraces on you. That'll give you a little profit still and save you from taking a loss. You got the partial closes to close out some of the profit while it's in decent amount of profit. Yeah, and I know a lot of quality traders do use similar tools, but I thought I'd make one myself, one that has a lot of different features. You can use whichever features you want. You don't have to use them all, but they are all there if you wish, which gives you a lot of automated control over the trade without any thought. I mean, a little bit of thought when you open up the settings, and have a good little think about, roughly where you want all these. But then, you can place several trades during a session and have that just automatically fall into place on every single trade. Just as a way of simplifying matters. So I'm just trying to think of things to say to fill in time while we see what the market's going to do for us. But I personally, like to trade with the trend, but I like to trade the 1 minute or the 5 minute time frames mostly. But I do like to see, what the higher time frames are doing. So a little bit some of my fully automated softwares, because they're based off my own strategies. I like to see all three of these time frames lined up in the same direction. So all buys or all sells. That's one of the major factors required before one of my automated softwares will even think about looking for an entry. But same when I'm manually trading. If I can see all three of these are going the same way, then no matter what else I'm using to enter the market, that'll give me strong confidence that it's going to continue that way. So, I'm not saying you change your mind, but that's, because I've got, two going the same way, and if I had some other factors lined up, I could definitely get happy enough to go with the buy. If all three are lined up, I'm even more confident with the buy. I don't just work it off just that alone. I would also want to know where the various support, resistance, or supply and demand zones are. And we've gone back and retraced and hit that one as well now. So we only have our buy order in place. But I think you get the idea. I was hoping to go down and show it, but it would have been exactly the same as that first profit lock and first partial close. It would have done exactly the same thing again going that way. But yeah, it might just go up and do it on the buy order for us now. But I'll leave it at that for you guys. If you got any questions on it, please just comment, questions, ask, comment on wherever I post this. I'll put this in our Telegram channels and on my Facebook page. The website, I guess. But yeah, if you got any questions or ideas on how I could improve it further, anything like that, let me know. And I will talk to you later. Have a good one.